Welcome to Voodoo Absolute. Folks round these parts call me Momma Aimee. Look like you got something on your mind, child. Come on in, take a look round. Afraid I don't rightly know of any lost souls, child. The folks who moved in down the road best be moving on. Make no mistake, there's evil up there. I can tell by the look in your eyes you've seen the face of evil. I'm sure by now someone has told you about the curse of the evil Mr. Crown. I'd be happy to tell you more, but I don't much care for charity. The rain has been keeping me from restocking my inventory. How about you go fetch me some items for my display here? You do that, and I may teach you a little voodoo.
Five, 45, 20.
Something I can do for you, stranger? I don't know nothing about it. Frankly, I don't care to. Don't tell me you came all the way down here to ask me such foolish questions. Do I look like I want to be bothered? The only ghost around here is gonna be wearing your shoes if you don't leave me alone.
Thank you for running that errand, Detective. Why don't you take this as payment? It's what I call a sleeping conjure. You put a little in someone's drink and they will sleep fine for a short while. Is there anything else Momma Aimee can do for you? Ooh, just hearing that name makes my blood run cold. It's the man who built and then rebuilt the house down the way. I say rebuilt because he burned it. He burned it to the ground with the screams of his 13 crewmen inside. He didn't want them knowing where he'd hid the treasure. One skull each for every man who died in the fire. I suppose he wanted his crew with him long after he passed on. Find the skulls, and you find the treasure. I reckon that nasty old Mr. Crown is keeping watch over what he don't want found. Best be careful out there, Detective. Snakes and gators aren't the only trouble in those waters. The only reason someone would be out there is because they want to be left alone. I'm afraid you'll have to tell that Mrs. Lawson that no one has seen nor heard from her missing husband. Why don't you have a look round, child? The spirits walk among us. Why don't you have a look?
No one's heard of my missing husband. I've posted signs around town and it's all over the paper. Marcus wouldn't have simply wandered off and left my daughter and I alone. It was his idea to move here in the first place. I'm sure those crazy locals had something to do with it. That crazy neighbor of ours, he fires his gun at anything that moves. How do I know he didn't attack Marcus? Have you met the lowlifes at that bar? That dive bar down by the river? Don't tell me that place isn't full of criminals. I'm beginning to wonder if that couple we hired isn't behind all this. There's something shady about them. I can't put my finger on it, but I've seen the way she looks at me. I thought we were doing them a favor by giving them jobs and letting them stay in the carriage house. I would appreciate it if you would quit running all these little errands and get to the bottom of things.
Looks like that rain's here to stay this evening. How goes the investigation, detective? The dark magic is not something I recommend fooling with, detective. You best be keeping an eye out for the missing Mr. Lawson. And keep the other eye off me and my wife. That includes peeking round the corner where we're staying. That carriage house is going to stay locked. I told you everything I know, and you best be respecting our privacy. Well, I don't believe in ghosts, but that place makes me uneasy. Funny you ask, though. The only time I seen it open was the morning after Mr. Lawson disappeared. You can't be thinking that some ghost come out of his grave and went after him. Well, I never did actually unlock that gate, but I know where one of the keys is hiding. I suppose I could lend it to you, but I need you to help me with something first. All this rain is making these weeds grow faster than I can get rid of them. How about you grab a pair of them garden shears and clip all them weeds along the side of the house? See what I mean about them weeds? It's like they got a mind of their own. That key I was telling you about's in a tin on the top shelf in the shed. If I was you, I'd be leaving that graveyard alone.